Boa tarde, Brasil. Boa noite, Portugal. Boa noite, França. Hoje é uma triangulação novamente maluca. A gente está aqui, né? Terça-feira, com um convidado muito bacana aqui, Eric Forrest, ex-Voivod, direto da França, Toulouse. Welcome, Eric.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me on. How you doing, all?
Ivan, seja bem-vindo aí, direto de Santa Catarina. Nós aqui, Santa Catarina. Miguel,
Aveiro
Connection.
Aveiro, Portugal.
Aveiro, Bastard, City Bastards, né?
Okay, so now we will go in English.
Okay.
Eric, we're quite happy to that you have accepted to join us for an hour to talk about music adventures between two continents. And we believe that you already have French nationality after you moved from Montreal somehow. Do you feel already a bit European?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's funny because when I go back to Canada, I miss France, and it's been very lucrative and good for me to be able to live here and to be able to play like 18 countries that I've done after 4 or 5 tours, whatever. It's been very, convenient that way, as opposed to jumping on a plane, extra money from Canada back and forth and stuff. But I really like it here. The culture, the cuisine, the food in south of France is the top. It's amazing. And, I played in Porto a couple times and Lisbon there once. So it's been great. Yeah, I really like the European culture and see everything and, take it in. Yeah.
Being an enthusiast of the European food and for sure wine, have you tried the Portuguese food and the Portuguese wine? What do you remember from those days?
We played a couple of times. I think it was like a takeout food, pizza, something at the club. So I don't really had the experience to really, eat the Portuguese food, but maybe one day for sure. Hopefully,
I hope so. Next time I will go to a show of ex-Voivod, for sure, because I haven't been to one. So my apologies. We've been talking about that offline as we were starting to chat, but we will go there. So finally, we think that we are living in a time that in lyrical terms is quite rich. Do you think that this Euro confinement is paying off in music writing, for that matter?
Well, I think it's put everybody in a certain mindset. That's for sure. Ironically, we started recording like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. So it's taken a while to put this through. And my next record is an album called Mindbender, which is dealing with the mindset of, from conspiracy, hypocrisy, mysteries, and all that stuff. And ironic enough, it's kind of coincides with what's going on today, with the doubt of what's happening, this COVID stuff, the Illuminati, the billionaires, you know what I'm saying. So I guess I can only speak for myself, but some of the what's happening today is come out lyrically for me, for sure.
Okay, so look at the next, listen to the next question. Finally, we begin to see movements that aim to show the nefarious side of digital media. In general, what is your position on how social media is being used?
I see a lot of people getting lobotomized by all this shit, like if they put a post up on their thing or Instagram or Facebook and they don't get likes, and I've even heard they're suicide because some teenager doesn't get enough likes and all that stuff. And it's really amazing how it's really controlled people and put them in a weird, bizarre state of mind, because I never thought I'd see 50, 60-year-old people acting like teenagers. And, oh my God, what's up? So it's a bit weird that way, But I think it has a big influence, and I also feel that lot of people are all of a sudden experts in what they're talking about. You know, you see people arguing over this or that or politics, and everyone's a professional and knows what the fuck they're talking about. So it's a bit, you know, I just take a look and observe, and you know, that's it, basically.
But is it somehow a kind of content for your music expression?
As far as composing, as far as like the social media to do the networking,
composing.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's good and bad to it, but I don't really know. You know, I write music from a pen and pencil, or you know, pen and a piece of paper and a guitar, and take it from there, and then you know, record and put the ideas later. So, is it a big influence on me? I'm not so sure. No.
Okay, totally understand.
So,
since the beginning of the millennium, when you started E-Force, you have released 4 LPs. Do you think that 2021 will be a new year for new records?
Oh yeah, actually, we just finished up. We're just in the process of signing a new deal and getting everything in order and realizing when to release and to try to tour. So it's a bit up in the air. But we have a new album coming out called Mindbender. And yeah, I did Evil Forces 2001, Modified Poison 2005 or 2005. First album 2012, I think, 13. Demonical 2015, and then I had a re-release because I did a Canadian tour, needed some product, and Mausoleum Records is kind of over because Alfie died and the family and everything. So I reprinted some, you know, new label and remix, remaster and stuff. So I'm looking forward to the next one, that's for sure. But I think everybody, like everything, is kind of in a state of what the fuck's next going to happen, you know, with this reality new world order we're living in now.
Okay. I believe. And if I may, in my opinion, of the works you have released so far, E-Force is a super underrated band. And this idea, do you think that this is due to the type or kind of promotion that, or lack of it, that labels gave you? Or have I been blind?
I think it's a matter of... yeah, promotion is good. Money's good. The more money you have for label and push and all that. But, you know, the style of music I'm playing compared to some of the metal today, it's like almost like, you know, 25, 30 years ago, there was only like 7 different styles of metal or whatever. Now there's like 20 or whatever. So I think the market's so over competitive now. And now with the downloading and everything, and then nobody buys music, it's a competitive business. Really, and it's too much. And you know, back in the day, people would listen to albums, and then sometimes people would just listen to songs. I was at a party like in Barcelona maybe 3-4 years ago with this younger generation, and they're playing songs, and after 30 seconds they're changing it and playing another song, and after 30 seconds playing another, I'm like, why don't you just play the whole song? It's like the new generation, no, they want it quick, fast. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I find everything's a bit quick, fast. People want things quick and easy, faster, and with 20 different styles of heavy metal and stuff coming and going, it's what can I do about that? You know, do my best and compose the best and business-wise and roll the dice, basically. So
the promotion, I don't know if you guys are invited to play festivals or live shows often, but I'm curious because I believe that you would, you know, grab more attention if you could, and I wonder why is that part, I don't know, being missed? Because you said that you already played in Portugal, but let me tell you that unfortunately I didn't have this information. Yeah. What do you think that might be missing?
Well, yeah, some promotion and, you know, good gigs and everything. But then again, you know, promoters work with bigger bands to draw, you know, it's about the figures, right? So E-Force is kind of an underground band, that's for sure. But like I said, we you know, been able to play like in 18 different countries, maybe, I don't know, 400, 500 shows since I started this band, but like almost 20 years ago next month or March. So, yeah, I think it's too much of too much, you know. It's, the market is oversaturated with a lot of different styles of metal or this or that, and I think it can, you know, complicate the teenagers' heads today, as opposed to when we were all younger. We had bought a vinyl or the CD or whatever. But so yeah, I guess it's the evolution of the human being dehumanized, in a sense, in a way.
Once you have talked about these subgenres that are so many these days. In some search of information online, I could read some messages that are transversal in all pages, and E-Force is now attached to is not attached to any genre or subgenre of metal, for what I've heard. However, I feel that the path of thrash, prog, and some industrial seems to be evident. So what can you tell us about this statement?
I guess that's pretty accurate in a sense. I guess it's all about perception in a way too. So, you know, I do what I do, and we, you know, it's almost like kind of not thinking about it. I mean, because I kind of know what I do after 4 or 5 records, and then my time with Voivod and stuff. So I've known what I've been doing in the direction I've been going for a long time. And so, what was the question again? Sorry.
If you agree that you are, you know, in any way playing through these 4 LPs, kind of a thrash prog and also some industrial influences. If you agree with that this line.
I guess so. I think there's a bit of black metal to there, a little bit on the last few releases also, but it's definitely heavy. But I don't think it really sounds like a lot of other stuff that's current today, because there's so much metal today. Honestly, a lot of it sounds the same, and for me, it's very difficult to say which band is this. Here, this band. That sounds like the same singer as this band. You know, there's too much of the same formulas going around. You know. And that's what's, you know, I like about what I do, or, you know, fond of it, or other bands that have a kind of a uniqueness to their, because there's so much today, and all lots sound the same in a way. You know?
Let's go to Brazil and let these guys ask their questions. And by the way, before Jay goes to it, let's invite our viewers to, you know, to place your questions for Eric on the live chat. We already have Joel Freitas online that has a question. We will do it later, but now first let's go to Jay. Jorge, chuta aí.
Eu queria perguntar a pergunta para ele se ele tem noção, né? Vou voltar um pouco no passado, do Power Trio mais não tem adjetivo para classificar, né? Com Voivod, né? Que se formou, né? Quando ele entrou no Voivod, um Power Trio, como 3 caras conseguiram produzir aquela música? Eu não consigo entender até hoje.
Okay, so Jorge went back to the past. Before my question, not my question, our question about your time in Voivod, but let's go. George was saying that if you today you have an idea of how was it to be on a three guys member team for when you were in Voivod, those records, how could you manage to do that sound? Do you have an idea of you could accomplish by that time?
You mean at the time when those albums were composed, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I think, especially speaking about Phobos, at the time, Piggy just got some new gear like Digitech pedal board, something huge, and he was really smart with that stuff to fuck around with it and creative. So I really think because he had his new toy for the Phobos recording, it really helped him create some special stuff on the Phobos record. I mean, it was some of the stuff he was doing was really crazy. One of the songs, Quantum, I think, or one of the ones in the end, I forget. But he did his guitar solo, and the guitar is sitting on the couch, and he put this little raised thing to the pickup, and that was the solo. I was like, "Are you going to pick your guitar up and play?" And he goes, "No, no." So it was really creative that way. But yeah, I think, you know, how that was created, that was Piggy's mind and what he did of being, you know, genius that he was, and you know, still respected today for sure. But you know, because not a lot of people can do that. You know, no, back then, 25 years ago, whatever, having the looper and the sound and this, today, you know, technology, you know, it's caught up. But yeah, I would say that. And I think the Negatron thing, you know, when I came in, they wanted to do a little more heavier, kind of go for that Nirvana Motorhead vibe with the 3-piece thing. And, you know, I didn't, it would kind of, you know, it's kind of weird when you replace one guy, but you got to replace two guys. So they went with me as doing the one, and, well, it worked. So
great albums, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Tens que meter som, Jorge.
Complementando, ele teve que tapar, né, né, a lacuna de dois membros do Voivod ali, bem importantes, o Black e o Snake, né, cara? Isso pesou muito para ele, assim, a responsabilidade de cobrir dois integrantes bem importantes do Voivod, né? Como é que, né, e fazendo um link, como é que isso soou na época, assim, né, com os fãs? Ele teve aceitação dos fãs ou teve uma resistência?
Okay, so Jorge was having the following question, that you had to replace two monsters in Voivod, so was Piggy and sorry, was Blackie and Snake.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you had you felt the responsibility of you know, fulfilling those two monsters, and were you really accepted by the hardcore fans, or was it really hard to, you know, to be on live and playing and, you know, delivering the old stuff?
I think you know, there was a certain amount of pressure, but at the other side of it, I just kind of came in and gave it my all and did what I did naturally, and just, you know, that's almost how those albums kind of got created. You know, I added my ingredient to the pie, and those guys had, you know, so, you know, ways, Piggies of mine, and I think it was accepted because it was a heavier record than, say, the Outer Limits or out of Angel Rat, right? So the fans were kind of like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, this is heavy." So I think that was, you know, gained a bit of respect in that sense. But you know, sure, there was some the original diehards. "Oh, it's not Snake, forget it," but not too many. A lot of people. It's funny because I even heard some people tell me, you know, the stuff that you did was the best Voivod stuff I've heard. I'm just like, wow, really? Oh, fuck, thank you so much. It's a compliment. I mean, it's all good, right? It's all music anyway. But it's a real honor to hear that. You know, I've heard that stuff about, you know, the John Corabi guy who did the Motley Crue record. People say, "Oh, that's the one," or so. It's, to hear that's real flattering. I had no idea what it was going to be or what was going to happen. I just went with it and followed those guys' lead, and just did what we did, and it kind of came about naturally, really.
So we haven't heard your name before you entered the Voivod family, but do you think that working with Away and Piggy was kind of a hardcore school for what you would become? And also, do you think that if you haven't joined Voivod for that time, at that period, do you think that E-Force would have been born sooner?
Possibly. I guess it depends, you know, because I joined the band in '94 and then ended at the beginning of 2001. Interesting question. Really tough to answer that one.
How about your memories with working with Piggy and Away?
Well, I mean, you know, I really, it's an honor and privilege to be in that band and to do what we did, personally wise, musically, spiritually, and I really lived and learned a lot. That's for sure. I guess that kind of comes across in, some the E4 stuff that I've, put out. But yeah, it was really, really, I was the last guy. I followed their lead and do the thing, and we did it, and it was amazing chemistry. The period that it was. The fact of getting replaced by the original singer of Snake of 8 Records and Jason Newsted, I mean, you can't compete with that. So that's life. It was tough to start it from ground zero again, but in the end, I'm really glad that I did, because after 20 years, I still have a bit of control of what I want to do musically, and not to join someone else's band or this or that or follow a trend. So it's good that way. Yeah, it's amazing times with those guys. And what can I say? I went to the University of Voivod for 7 years, pretty much. So. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel sometimes when I'm listening to E-Force that you have lots of Voivod influences, and I was wondering if in any way you grab some school of Snake in the voice, and also from the bass lines, the way of playing bass from Blackie. Do you feel that you carry some of that stuff?
I think, in a sense, well, when you hear the new record, you're gonna go, "Holy fuck, that sounds like Iggy wrote that one." There's a couple of riffs that are just, it's in the blood. You know what I mean? Funny though, having said that, between the last record, Monocle, I was between member changes and a new album, and I seen Uli John Roth do a tour called Scorpions Revisited. So I thought, that's not a bad idea. So kill 2-3 years to help, put the music, the members there. So we did like 25 shows in 8 countries, did a thing called Voivod Revisited, and that just went over amazing, really, really, really well. And so yeah, there's that Voivodism or Biggieisms part of the stuff that's just there, and I don't know how to explain it. Just do what I do and what I have, and voila,
Okay, so I'm looking at the question from Joel Freitas. He's saying that sends you hi, all the best for you. He's writing from London. He's Portuguese, and he's quite happy that he was born when you started in Voivod. So I imagine this. You have a fan that was born in the year that you started in Voivod. So the question that he left is: does Voivod helps in your career, or nothing changed? That's his question.
Oh, definitely, it's helped. Absolutely. I mean, it's opened many doors for professional level. But having said that, just because of that doesn't mean there's guarantees, you know what I mean, from promoters or tours or this and that. Just because it's a competitive market, there is interest for the Voivod stuff that I did do and the E-Force music, but it's on an underground kind of level. But hey, when you're traveling Europe or whatever and you're on stage, that's what it's about. It's not really about the money. I mean, hey, I want to be in a big band as much as possible too, but the reality of it all is, you get up and play, and that's what it's really about.
I can't forget to ask you this, because sometimes I wonder. You have management, right?
Co-management at the moment, yeah, but I pretty much handle stuff with my drummer, producer, engineer.
Okay, so this makes me ask the following question. So we have these many online tools to promote everything that we want. I have a business and I have to promote it. And when we go to the internet ranks, we can see if we are there or not. And if we aren't, what do we have to do to go there? So this leaves me the following question. Do you think that promotion agencies are working well, or they need to adapt to this new language?
I think maybe it's a bit of both. You can have a great marketing team and good promotion and this and that, but don't forget there's so many other hundreds, maybe thousands of other bands that release an album the same time you do. So, you like, I guess in old school, you look at a magazine, right? A new release and this and that. It's a lot of information for people to take in. And especially, today with all the podcasts and the internet and social media stuff going today. But I'm speaking from what I see, right? I'm not a complete expert on it, but I don't know. I guess it's all about perspective, right? How you look at it. But I would like to spend, X amount of dollars on a new promotion of an album, but, hopefully our new label's going to do that. That's the idea, signing with a label too. So a lot of business hurdles and formalities today, because it is a real digital world now, I suppose, like I let people know my CDs if they go to a show and they want an autograph or something. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know too many people bought a CD in a long time.
Sign my T-shirt.
yeah. Or, now Spotify, you get 1 million plays and you get €37 or something. I don't know what it is. But, yeah, so, I don't know. It's good and bad too,
It's playing live that you get something, yeah.
Yeah, but, just all the new media, Spotify and stuff, it's good for unknown bands to be heard, at least that way. Or, Facebook Matter, YouTube and stuff. But I don't know. You need a gimmick. You need some good songs. You need something, some fire, some magic, to make it.
Do you sometimes have this will to go backwards and kill all the internet and kill everything like the social media and go back and scratch everything again to be noticed?
Well, I know what you mean by that. This is a lot of the hard work from the street, the promoting, putting up posters on the street or whatever. And no, I don't really want to go back to that. I just been there, done that, and kind of going with what's now, and that is the way it is, right? So I think I'm floating, sailing, and that's all that really matters.
Okay, now let's go talk technically. We go to our expert. So Ivan is the music guitar player, bass player, singer. He has some projects, and he has some questions for you about the gear and stuff like that. Ivan.
Okay.
Eu queria perguntar as influências que ele tem antes de entrar no Voivod, e se as influências ainda são as mesmas, e quais são os equipamentos que ele usava.
Okay, so Ivan is asking.
Para gravar os álbuns.
Let's split this in two questions. So he's asking first, what were your musical influences before you got into Voivod?
Well, I've always, been a guitar player, but first and foremost a bass player. So yeah, the Steve Harris, Geezer Butler, Billy Sheehan, world of bass guitar, I suppose, the early metal, But it wasn't until later I learned when I kind of learned a lot playing with Piggy, how you can take a simple bass note, and it supports the guitar, like, it's a Judas Priest or whatever. It's a simple bass line, but it fits the song, like one of my favorite songs to this day, Project X on the Negatron record. It's just dun 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 dun. It's not difficult, but efficacious. It's effective. So, you can go like this and this and that. I don't know. It depends what your style is and what you do. But so, what was the question again? Little brain.
About your influences before you got into Voivod.
Yeah. So yeah, Steve Harris, Geezer Butler, a little bit of Geddy Lee. That's a little difficult stuff, right? But bass wise, yeah.
And outside metal.
Well, I listened to Jaco Pastorius a few times, but it's difficult to play. But I like.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like to. I like to, noodle a little bit, like some of that jazz stuff. But a Victor Wooten guy, I see that guy. What the fuck is that guy? You know who he is? Bass player Victor Wooten? Holy fuck. But, good songs, I like 70s music, Deep Purple, Thin Lizzy, some of that Skynyrd stuff too, to Pink Floyd. It depends on the vibe at the time. It's not just metal or whatever,
Now, so you're living in France. I have to add, do you already have some Latin influences for your new stuff?
For the new material, you mean? On the new album?
Yeah.
Latin as in like French culture, like mixed in?
Yeah, yeah. This European sounds, this Southern Europe sounds, you know, this mixture of cultures. If you think that the music from each country that you visit in Europe in any way goes to your, you know, way that you compose now.
Okay, I see what you mean. Does the new E4 stuff sound a little French? Not at all. Attitude. No.
Okay, so the other question from Ivan is also about the gear. What can you tell us about your gear and the guitar player's gear? If you guys have any secrets behind the curtain.
Well, I've been playing a Fender Precision bass for like since '85, and it's been really good to me because it's been all over the world. I've seen this and that, but the best thing about the bass is I put new great bass strings on the thing, and it's always never let me down, and that's probably been the best thing I've used bass-wise. I use this Digitech bass pedal, which I really like for tuning and a little distortion. And I got a hardkey hat and cabinet and stuff, but depends on the dates or stuff. Sometimes you got to jump on a plane and go do a festival and use the back line, so you got to be quick and just use your pedal and stuff. But for me, the bass, new strings, you can't lose,
Okay, Ivan?
Ele fala que as linhas de baixo dele são simples, mas os métodos de composição do Voivod são bastante abrangentes, assim, não tem uma regra que segue uma regra. Para ele foi natural quando ele entrou, assim, entrar e já compor músicas sem, digamos, uma direção específica.
Okay, so Ivan is saying that you mentioned that your bass lines are quite simple, but he was saying that also the Voivod stuff is quite complicated. Sometimes it can be very complicated. And do you had to make an adjustment to that, or you just joined and everything came naturally?
We actually, one of the first shows we did, first couple of rehearsals and stuff, we actually did jam the song The Unknown Knows. And to play and sing that at the same time, it's, it can be tricky, But, Piggy was always like, oh, just play the E part here and go here and here. It's okay, like just fine. They're very supportive, not like, okay, this isn't perfect. They're just like, punk rock it, man. Do your thing and feel the vibe. But really. But that song, I think we ended up dropping just because it didn't come about as good as, say, Nuclear War or the Voivod or maybe the heavier stuff or the Ravenous Medicine. There's a funny story about Ravenous Medicine. Back in the fan in the early '80s of early Exodus and Metallica, Merciful Fate, Voivod, all that stuff. I remember seeing the video of Ravenous Medicine, and I thought, oh, that's a cool riff. That dance, before the verse, the part during the verse, and I kind of ripped off a riff, and I kind of had it all along. So when I joined the band, I'm playing this riff as we're composing stuff. And I go, you guys like that? And they go, yeah, we like to use that. And I go, really? Cool, because I ripped it off of Ravenous Medicine. So now it's kind of gone full circle. And it turned out to be a song called Vortex, which was on the Chronic. It didn't make the album, the Negatron record, but it came on the Chronic album. Extra track. But funny how it went full circle. That was kind of funny,
Ravenous Medicine was the first track I've listened from Voivod. It was my first, and that video clip is insane.
One of my favorites, yeah. Well, one of my favorites back in the day, It was really, really fun to play that one. Yeah, and Tribal Convictions.
I believe it's just to ask you, is that your kind of Voivod stuff, or you also like that more experimental, more acoustical face of Voivod? What's your favorite?
You mean my favorite kind of style of Voivod? Because they have so many, all the albums are very different, right? I like the heavier stuff, but I must say that one of my favorite records by the band is Outer Limits. I love that record. The production is fucking monsters. It's fucking huge, and it's funny. They told me some stories, and they recorded in Los Angeles, spent a lot of money, hanging out with Guns N' Roses and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And Biggie told me once I woke up drunk on the south side. Anyway, it was, some good stuff.
Pergunta se ele não tem um vinil para vender do Outer Limits. Menos
there
de
are two guys here. There are two guys here that want to buy the Outer Limits on vinyl. So I'm one, and Jorge is the other one. Less than 500 euros. Do you have one?
I don't have any. I got a CD still, but yeah.
I also have the CD. It's an amazing album indeed.
Mas eu consegui no eBay a versão do Negatron e Phobos dupla há um tempo atrás por um preço muito baixo. Hoje deve estar absurdo, né? Fala para ele que...
So Jorge was a lucky bastard that got Megatron and Phobos on vinyl.
On the double album, yeah. I don't even have one of those. I don't even have one. Funny, eh?
So,
passa para ele.
Jorge, you must join my name to your testament, your last will, so that you can send those to Portugal. Okay, Jorge? Only if you die first, but if I die first, I can promise you that I can send you 1 or 2 records. My kids already know the value of this, and they know the discogs and stuff like that. Talking about that and this overpriced records that you can see online, what are your thoughts about this game of you have a record that 2 years later it's costing triple or 4 times the price that it should be. What are your thoughts on this craziness that is all around?
Like on eBay or something, you buy it.
Yeah, eBay, Discogs, any platform. It's crazy. The prices are insane.
I think it's good for the guy who's selling the record for sure. It's my ex-drummer. He sold vinyl online and stuff, and I guess it's good for people like that. But I wouldn't spend X amount of dollars on a vinyl. But that's just me, right? Like I think it's good. It's good for people, I think, who are into that stuff, especially vinyl. But for the consumer, and I'm not so sure because a bit of money, My opinion.
I feel these guys are professionals. They are living from selling records at the moment.
Yeah,
so
sure.
They buy the records for €20 and then they will sell it for 100. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe more. Yeah.
So me and George and Ivan, we are, crazy fans of Voivod and looking forward to your new records. Do you think that this new E-Force record will be, very close to Voivod, as you mentioned in the beginning? But how close can it be to the Canadian band, since E-Force is not a Canadian band anymore? It's half.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely sounds like previous E-Force material, but I think the best thing about this new record is my new drummer is actually my engineer producer of my last 4 records, but now he's in the band. So let's just say the drum sounds pretty fucking good on this next one because he's in the band more. It's a little more effort and stuff like that, right? And the production on this is definitely blows the other ones away. Not, the other ones are kind of, it is what it is budget wise, but this next one has a great production and I'm really happy to get it out. And I think because of that Voivod Revisited tour we did and the new members, it kind of, was in the subconscious of coming up with the stuff and writing the music. It's weird because this new record, once I'm, jamming, once I, press record and I recorded like maybe 15 minutes of just jamming, one take, and one particular night I got like maybe like 6, 7 of the songs right there. by that improvisation. It's really weird because I'm thinking if I didn't do that, where would well, I have to get from other jams, obviously, but so it is what it is. Just doing what I do, and voila.
Voila. We have to say that we could listen the difference between the first drums on your first records and then when you started using a real drum. Now that you have a drummer producing your album, let's go to the other side. That is the making of the new record inside the studio. So the drummer being a producer, is it triggering? For instance, is it triggering the drums, or is he really playing and hitting the drums like hell? And also, do you think that will help a lot being the producer, being a musician in the album?
Well, he is actually a musician too. He co-wrote one of the songs, and it's kind of overkill annihilator kind of vibe. He plays guitar and bass and plays the drums on it. But yeah, we recorded with the drum machine, and then after erase that, and he would do the stuff on these drum pads and then send through the SMS thing or whatever, and into that, and it sounds great. It sounds like real drums. This doesn't sound like every other band. I remember years ago hearing a compilation of 20 thrash bands, and every drum program was the same, and it became really. This has a real drum sound to it, a real old school drum sound. And yeah, like I said, because he's the producer and the engineer and now the drummer, it's better. And we're good close friends, so it's come about that.
And are you a analog friend?
Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I have sound card and few things to record stuff, but I'm not Johnny producer or whatever. I know how to create and get the good thing and leave it to other people, unfortunately. But I like the old sound. I don't like too much. I like a sound that doesn't sound like everybody else. You know what I mean? And today there's a lot of stuff that's being used today that it doesn't give bands identity in some ways. It's because they're losing the vibe, the rawness, the live, the few mistakes, the feedback. Everything's too perfect,
Yeah.
I find.
Eric, we share the same opinion. We all share the same opinion that lots of bands today sound the same. They have good ideas, great ideas, but when they go to the studio, because of the producer, perhaps the sound gets very similar to other 100 bands.
Yeah. The production's the same. Yeah, and that. Maybe it's easy and cheaper to do, or from this or that, or from this software or whatever. But I think there's a certain rawness that's missing. I mean, this new E-Force record sounds really clear and perfect, and it's not as old school, more so like the first E-Force record, which was a live take, live drummer right off the floor and that. But it does sound more older. But I guess it depends what you're going for, right?
Looking at the promotion of this new album, when all this stuff is gone, this really pandemic and worldwide stuff, where would you like to take E-Force for a gig, a place where you haven't been before?
South America. I don't know. Brazil, Rome, Rio de Janeiro, something. I don't know. Never been to South America. I've been pretty much everywhere else, or maybe Japan. Never played there before.
But, it's funny because we hear that many guys from Japan, they have the culture of Voivods, and I believe that you would be a success over there.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm in touch with some agencies right now, but we're just all in the same waiting game kind of thing of when and what and how, and then even if and when this market does open again, it's going to be over flooded and every band's going to want to play the same,
Hey, but
I don't know.
all the metalheads want to go for concerts for 1 year with a concert every week.
Oh, yeah. Well, depends where you live. I guess you could do that every night in some places. But
Yeah. I'm talking about Portugal, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I imagine that you had a message for Brazil, so you are looking for management there, someone that could
Please.
take E-Force to Brazil, and I'm sure that those guys would appreciate. Jorge,
Love to.
chuta.
Love to.
Minha última pergunta é um dilema que seguidamente a gente está compartilhando lá no grupo do Facebook Voivodians, né? Qual é o melhor álbum, the best album, Negraton or Phobos?
Negraton.
Na visão do Eric. É um dilema. A gente seguidamente está debatendo isso lá no grupo, né? Eu não sei responder.
Okay, so George is sharing the main question at the moment in Voivodian's fanbook page. The question is, what's the favorite? If it's Megatron or Phobos, what's your favorite?
I don't know. I mean, I like a handful of songs from both. Kind of like when I put this Voivod Revisited thing together a few years ago, I put like the Insect, the Project X, the Nanoman, the Meteor, Planet Hell, with Rise, Mercury, Forlorn, the Tower.
Só musicaço.
A bit of both, really.
Okay.
We even did that song Embody. Remember that one? Embody,
yeah.
The one that Piggy, Jason, and Away had a little project called Pirate. They wrote some songs, and then they said, okay, we want to cover this. I'm like, yeah, sure, man, cool. So basically I covered the song Embody. That went well. I mean, we played in Valencia, I think it was Spain, on this tour, and there was a guy from Portugal. He said it took him like 5-6 hours to drive to where we were to hear these songs, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Really? Like, I don't know people who would do that to go see Maiden or Kiss or whatever, and he drove all this time, and he had his old Voivod shirt from 20 whatever years ago from seeing us before, so it was a real honor of just like, wow, time stands still, man, to see that. And a fan.
Respect to that guy.
I was in shock. He was glad to meet me. I was just like, holy fucking Christ, man. Thank you so much. It's real. I'll never forget that story. To hear that and see it.
Cool.
Miguel, pergunta pra ele se nos shows do E-Force ele é obrigado a tocar alguma música do Voivod ainda.
Oh. So Ivan is asking when you are playing with E-Force live, if people ask you to play some Voivod stuff.
Oh, I do all the time. Of course. when I played all the tours, I played 4 or 5 Voivod songs always, and then the new record always.
E quais sons ele toca? Quais músicas ele toca?
Those 5 can be random, or which songs do you play live from Voivod?
Insect, Project X, Rise, Mercury, Forlorn, or Nanoman, or Planet Hell, or Meteor. Meteor is a good one too. Those usually work the best.
Okay, so I have to ask you. Imagine that you've never been to the band, to Voivod, and Megatron, and also Phobos doesn't exist. Which album would you prefer from the whole discography of Voivod?
Okay, other than the stuff that I did.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm really fond of that Outer Limits record. I love that record so much. Not just a record; it's one big song, Not to mention the Jack Luminous 14-minute whatever track, but I like that in this one, Form Pain, and I love the Dimension Hatros, the Tribal Conviction tune. That's to me, Smoke on the Water, the Voivod. You know what I mean? It's their signature. Dun, 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 it's their dun, 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 kind of thing.
O Miguel foi buscar o Miguel foi buscar algum disco para se exibir e deve ser o Outer Limits, né? Ô, Miguel, não faz isso com a gente, né, cara? Eu tenho vinil, que maravilha. Muito bom, muito bom. Não tem vinil, Miguel?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't have the vinyl of this one. I would love to, but I was looking for the Outer Limits that I also have on CD, but I couldn't find it so quickly.
No.
Maybe I have it. Maybe I have it in the car. So let's imagine that, as you know, you mentioned that there are kids that start listening to songs now for 30 seconds or something like that. So they don't listen to the full songs. What kind of advice can you give to those guys? They are new. They don't have the for sure they don't have the past that we did. But what could you tell to those guys how they should enjoy music and appreciate it in a different way?
It's a tough one to answer that, because I feel it's really it's to each his own to say I like this or appreciate this or this or that. I'm not person to say this is this or that. I think it's for everybody to discover and like or dislike. Some bands are really popular and it's trendy. I won't mention any names, but for me, I don't like that. I like a band because I like the band, not because it's cool and it's trendy. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know. It's the answer to that one, really.
Okay, we have another question from Joel Freitas. It's funny that he asks this. I would put it in a different way, but I will ask first his question, that if you had to choose your big four, what would be the bands that you would choose for there?
King Diamond, Exodus, Witchery, my friends in Italy are pretty good. Called Necrodeath. You know those guys?
I know Necrodeath.
Yeah,
Fragments of Insanity.
Yeah. They're pretty fucking good, man.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that album, Fragments of Insanity. It's crazy. Also, which four bands would you choose for Canada? The big four for Canada.
Well, Voivod, I guess one of them. Infernal Majesty. Sacrifice. Either Devin Townsend or Jeff Waters, one of those guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Annihilator or Dropping
You
in
forgot
Lab.
to mention maybe Razor?
Oh, fuck. Razor and Anvil. What am I talking about? I was, when I was like 15 years old, playing a band called Warning, when I was 15 years old.
Oh, look, he lost one of his tooth. Oh my God!
Herdeiro, vamos fazer negócio.
I was in a band.
Ele tá com uma janela aí?
Está. Now he's embarrassed because he's missing a tooth.
Well, that's money, right? Don't you put
Quem que não passou por isso?
under the pillow and he wakes up the next day and has the money?
No, his mother, she stole his tooth. But you know, he received these great grades from school today, and he will be rewarded. Okay, so let's get back to our conversation.
Oh yeah. I meant to talk about Razor. Yeah, I supported Razor on the 1985 in Hamilton, Ontario, on the Evil Invaders tour. That was fucking. That was experience. Yeah, those guys were good, man. I remember them.
I can imagine that I would to send a challenge to George, that he is our guy, to set an interview with Infernal Majesty. Huh? So let me tell you, Eric, we are reaching our hour, and it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Again, let me tell you that I will listen more often to E Forrest, because we have a lot to learn from these 4 albums that you already achieved, and I'll be looking forward and curious to listen to the new stuff, since you mentioned so many good things about it, and I'm sure that you are right. I'm forced to ask you to give a message to the European fans, and then following to the following continents. Please leave us a message about what you are doing, and where do you want to go in the future.
Well, we'd like to finish this record and get it out later this year and tour Europe and hopefully South America one day, and back to Canada again, and just to be able to continue what we all do, not just the musicians, I suppose, but the sound man, the light tech, the booking agency, the promoters, everything, to get back in a rhythm that we used to know. And I can't say, I don't know. I mean, we're all being optimistic about it, but we all don't really know. I just really hope to see you all again one day. And would like to thank all the fans, past and present, and today, and the future. Thanks for the support, and enjoy the metal, and enjoy this one life that we have. Really.
Muito bom.
So, on behalf of the Portuguese fans, thank you so much for being with us. Now I'll leave you with Brazil for their message, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
And well, in Portugal. Okay.
I keep you posted too, and I send you some new tracks and stuff, and I keep you updated this year.
By the way, before we go, let us know if a fan wants to find your records, to talk with you as a band, or as as Eric. Where can they find you?
They can find, for the moment, they can see me on Eric Forrest, the Facebook page, Eric Forrest, or the E Forrest page. We're going to be updating all that stuff with a new website and new label when we announce that later this year. It's just taking some time. But yeah, for the moment there, or eForce official at gmail.com. But Facebook, you'll see, and whatnot.
Okay. Brazil. Thank you so much, Eric.
Pessoal, Eric, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys, with everything, and hopefully we can speak again one day and enjoy the metal and the spirit of metal.
Maybe we can do a live review from your new record when you have it.
I'll be sure send it to you as soon as it's got it. As soon as I have it, yeah. Okay. Guys, thanks so much. Thanks so much, all the fans, everybody. See you again sometime.
Pessoal, obrigado. Dia 9, aí, terça-feira, João do Ratos de Porão aqui com a gente, né? Lenda do Crossover. Obrigado pela audiência, Eric. A gente nem precisa falar, né? A gente é muito fã da fase dele no Voivod. Recomendo, né? Escutem músicas, né? Bandas, artistas aí diferentes, né? E-Force, né, Miguel? E-Force.
Vale bem a pena.
Muita qualidade. E é isso aí, galera. Muito obrigado.
Se inscreva no canal, compartilhe esse vídeo aqui e estejam conosco. E clica no sininho. Thank you, Eric. Obrigado, obrigado pessoal. Valeu.
Uma vez mais, não podemos deixar de dizer que o eForce está disponível em N plataformas, por isso procurem, vale bem a pena, principalmente para aqueles que estão à espera de encontrar algo semelhante a Voivod e aquele lado mais experimentalista, devem procurar e devem ouvir e apoiar, claro, ok? Grande abraço a todos e até para a semana.
Okay, guys.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Tchau.
Bye.
Tchau.